crisp autumn afternoon. Tommy was only 8 years old. He had been playing hide-and-seek with his friends in an old, abandoned office building on the outskirts of a town. As he ducked into a narrow, dimly lit corridor to avoid being found, something peculiar caught his eye. A door that he hadn't been there before. Curiosity piqued. He opened the door and stepped inside. It was a mistake. The room he entered seemed endless, with yellowed wallpaper and a sickly, flickering fluorescent light overhead. The air was thick with a musty odor, and the hum of lights was a constant, maddening buzz. He turned to go back, but the door was gone. In its place was an identical stretch of corridor, stretching endlessly in both directions. Tommy wandered through a maze of rooms, calling out for his friends, but his voice echoed back to him, eerily distorted. Panic set in as hours turned into days, and days into weeks. He tried to keep track of time, scratching marks on the walls with a broken piece of tile, but eventually he lost count. The room seemed to twist and shift around him, leading him in circles, trapping him in an endless labyrinth of sameness. At first, he encountered other people, lost souls like himself, but they were always distant, just shadows on the edge of his vision. Sometimes he heard their voices, whispers echoing through the halls, but when he called out, they never answered. Over time, they too disappeared, and Tommy was alone. He learned to scavenge for food, finding stale crackers and half-empty water bottles in the abandoned desks and cabinets that dotted the rooms. He made a nest in one of the less eerie corners, using old coffee chairs and stacks of paper for comfort. He tried to sleep, but his dreams were haunted by memories of home and the life he once knew. As the years passed, Tommy grew older, though he hardly noticed. His reflection in the grimy glass panes showed a man, gaunt and hollow-eyed, but his mind remained that of an 8-year-old boy who had first stepped through the door. The rooms had twisted him, both inside and out, but he held on to the hope that one day he would find his way back. 30 years later, the building was scheduled for demolition. The workers found an old journal, its pages filled with frantic scribblings of a child. It told the story of a boy lost in an endless maze, a boy who never grew up. The final entry was a plea, written in shaky, adult hand. "Help me, I'm still here." As they read the last words, a chill ran down their spines. They had heard stories about the rooms, rumors of a place that existed between worlds, a place where time stood still. They dismissed it as a child's fantasy, a desperate attempt to make sense of his plight. But as they turned to leave, one of the workers, an older man, froze. He stared at the journal, then at the building, a look of horror dawning on his face. "I know this story," he whispered. "I was that boy." The others laughed, but the man's eyes were hollow, his face pale. They didn't understand, couldn't understand. The rooms had taken 30 years of his life, trapping him in an endless nightmare.